Alright guys, I got a little something else we're working on today. This is the one fender we're going to be keeping on the truck, and it's got layers of paint that we need to get off so we can get new paint on. We want to sand it all off. I don't like using paint stripper. It's messy, it burns your skin, smells bad, not fun. But I do want to get the paint off so I can make sure there's no rust underneath anywhere, and then we have a good flat base to put our primer on, any Bondo we need to do. So I'm going to start off by drilling out the spot welds on this. Here's the first one up here. That's how you make more work for yourself.
Tack welding in this piece on the fender. So my next step is I'm going to be grinding down these welds so that they look a little bit better. I'm not going to be too precise on the inside here because it doesn't matter all that much. I'm just going to paint it with more of that gloss black. But the outside I want it to look nice and clean so that when we do our paint job, it looks good.
Alright, we got a little something in the mail today. Alright. Sorry, Bobby. But that's not all. I think this is our biggest one yet. Alright, Bob. Let's see what we got. It's a Staples and tape kind of job. As ever.
No, she's not even in here. Cool, it's a fender.
Well, it looks pretty decent.
Sweet.
Yeah. Alright, so we've got both sides of the door sanded up nicely. So I wiped them all down with rubbing alcohol so it's cleaned up and ready to go. But this corner that I had to hammer out the dent in, I'm going to put a little Bondo, or actually glazing putty, on it to smooth it out. So I'll put on a little spot here, and there are a couple other little dings and dents that it probably picked up from just sitting in garages for a couple of years. So we're going to fill those and then smooth it out, and then we'll be ready for paint. This is actually finishing glaze. It's a little different than Bondo. It runs a little bit more, and it's not as porous when it's dried. So it's a lot easier to get a really smooth, small spot. Use a popsicle stick for this.
Okay. For what it's worth, Zach is working on sanding off the Bondo right now.
Alright, so I've got the new fender that we bought over here, and I'm going to start off by just wiping it down with some acetone, make sure there's no oil on it, and then once it's clean I'll scuff it with some 400 grit sandpaper, and then we're ready to paint it. So these really are simplifying the whole process, speeding up everything. So we just need to get oil and grease off, and then we will sand it just to scuff it up. And then after that, we'll wash it again, get all the dust off, and it's ready to paint.
So there's a little bit of a dent over here. So this door got pretty bent up in the mail.
So this whole tab is kind of supposed to follow this curve, and then this is supposed to be straight. So this all has to kind of bend upward quite a lot. I'm getting really good at this by now, so it's okay. So we've got the dents that we hammered out on the door here that we're gonna now fill with Bondo.
Because ultimately this is just a craft. It's like arts and crafts out here.
I mean, this does vaguely feel like this is just our art project that's in the garage. The other thing that we're doing is putting water on the floor so that as dust falls from the ceiling or wherever else, then it'll get trapped in the water on the floor instead of getting trapped in our paint.
We got the primer on last night. It's cured all day. Unfortunately, the furnace died and I had to do some work to fix it. And when that was all opened up, I think we got some dust sucked in and then that's blowing around. So there's a lot of like really tiny little dust spots on the surface here. They're pretty hard to see, but what we're gonna do is we're gonna wet sand this panel just to smooth those off. So we're gonna sand it with like a really high grit, kind of almost polish the surface just to knock those nibs off the top. And then we'll be ready to put down the first color coat on this. All right, everybody, thanks for watching. We're gonna wrap up the episode here. I know that's been a little bit of a delay between the last truck video, but hang in there, we'll keep putting out the rest of the content. Up next, we're gonna be spraying color coats on the door panels and the fenders. It looks really good. I can't wait to share it with everybody. So follow along, subscribe, give us a thumbs up if you like what we're doing, and thanks.